I can tell you who's not going to beat Argentina in the final, right? Is that a good enough transition for you, Alex? Because CONCACAF, oof, who would have thought Canada would be one of the better CONCACAF teams at the moment?
When they don't have the best team individually in terms of quantifying with players,
exactly.
okay? Because if you see the list of players of Mexico, US, and Canada, the US have the best national team in my point of view. The best player might be Alfonso Davies, though.
And if you wanted a Bielsa light, right, you could have gone for Jesse Marsch. And instead, hey, they didn't open the door for him. They wanted Gregg Berhalter back for the 874th time. They wanted to, what's the definition of insanity? Which is it's doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. That's Gregg Berhalter. There you go. That's Gregg Berhalter. And I'm telling you right now, Jesse Marsch fosters a culture, generally does. Obviously, sometimes it blows up in his face, like at Leeds, like at RB Leipzig. But I think it's pretty good for a national team perspective. It's good to see Canada playing well. They took Argentina pretty far. And played very, very well. And I think Jonathan David, I mean, you still got very, very good players. Obviously, Alfonso Davies, they need that new generation to come through. That's where you're kind of like looking at the horizon saying, I don't see it just yet. But Jesse Marsch will make them incredibly competitive. Now, on to Mexico. Before I berate USA, I have not seen a worse generation right now. Okay, let me phrase it this way. Generally, there's always one or two players on the Mexican side of things, El Tri, that scares the ever-living crap out of me, right? I can go all the way back to Cuauhtemoc Blanco, to Jared Borghetti, to Gio Dos Santos when he was on, to Hector Herrera. There are, obviously, to Memo Ochoa in goal. But right now, not one. Not one. And maybe the only one.
Jimenez, no?
Only one.
Santiago Jimenez.
Not for Mexico. Gosh, no. He's been horrendous. And I don't mean this in a bad way. Well, obviously I do mean it. Like, horrendous is a pretty strong word.
Yeah.
But El Tri does not know how to use Santiago Jimenez, okay? I think Feyenoord is obviously looking to sell him off because they've already brought in a new striker from the Philadelphia Union, Julian Carranza. But you know who did know how? You know who did know how to use him was Arne Slot.
True.
Right? And Santiago Jimenez obviously is still young. And to throw him into the lion's den that is El Tri is tough, but they have nobody else right now. Stick with the guy. Stick with him. He's literally your only player right now in this lineup, in this entire 26-person squad that you brought here, that Jimmy Lozano brought, that could potentially strike fear if he gets his finishing game back on. Right? Edson Alvarez is injured. He's out for the next couple weeks. He's out for Copa America. He's the only other person I would throw in there. Okay? Now, that's Mexico, right? It is bizarre to see this, but there is not one person that I am scared of when I look at the Mexican roster. In fact, I'm more scared of Canada than I am of Mexico at the moment. And to be honest, now I have to be scared of what? Panama.
Yeah.
Panama. And you know what? Here's the thing, Alex. Okay, if anyone didn't catch the game, good you didn't catch the game because you saved 90-plus minutes of your life that you will never get back again because it was depressing to watch as a U.S. fan. Well, and to be honest, while Timmy Weah is 100% at fault, while the players are 100% at fault, right, this is systemic. It is top-down. It starts at the top. Gregg Berhalter sets the culture. He decides to be their friend instead of their actual coach. Every one of them seems to like him. They're not speaking out against him. That's great. But have we seen marked differences in the development of these players under Gregg Berhalter, first time, second time? Have we seen statement wins that are not against El Tri?
True.
Have we seen statement wins? Have we seen really solid wins like maybe beating a Uruguay on match day 3? I don't care. He needs to go.
Well, you
Gregg
drew to
Berhalter
Argentina.
had... Yes, I mean, but drew to Brazil, right? But so did Costa Rica. I don't know what to tell you, right? But
that's true.
Gregg Berhalter's stated goal in the first and the second session, right, his stated goal was to change the perception of American soccer or of American football around the world. Okay? The only people that are doing that are the individual players within their club setups. When has he done that? Period. Period. With the national team.
Jesse Marsh has done more than Gregg Berhalter in terms of overall respect because coaching at Red Bull Salzburg, like, that's a different level.
I know. But you tell me, Alex, has the perception changed out there because of Gregg Berhalter, his setup, his tactics, his bunkering in after they went a man down, treating Panama like they were flipping Brazil? 18 minutes in, going a man down. Has he changed your perception of the U.S. national team?
My perception, no. And what I can tell you is the average European fan about football has no opinion about Gregg Berhalter, but the job he's doing for the U.S. And that says it all, okay? Because of the meritocracy level that I believe should be the case to coach the U.S. men's national team. You guys are playing in home soil. Like, and when I see you guys playing in home soil against Panama and losing to Panama, if it was here in Portugal, in the Euros, it would be a rage, total rage with everyone, okay? And I didn't feel that. I didn't feel that responsibility of winning 100% in home soil in a tournament like Copa America. So it should be a bit
soft.
Exactly, too soft in my point of view. So what's enough? What's enough for Gregg Berhalter to go? Honestly, because in my perspective, enough is not to go through in the group stage in Copa America playing in home soil when you have to. You have to. You see the other teams, like
100%.
You're 100% second. 100% second. And if you're first, that would silence every critic, okay? And that's what the U.S. men's national team should want when the World Cup is gonna be too in home soil. So that's mad.
It's true. I mean, what confidence is there that we're headed in the right direction with 2 years to go?
Exactly.
There is none. There is none. And the only thing we can get confident about or get excited about is the stable of players that we built up. And yes, maybe they're not as good as we thought, but the potential still lies there. I agree with you. I mean, the things that Christian Pulisic has done, the things that Weston McKennie has done, all of them have done it individually. They've done it on their own. They've built families. They've set new horizons for American players going abroad. More American players are going abroad than ever before, challenging themselves. That's not Gregg Berhalter.
Exactly.
It's not. He needs to go. Whether or not they beat Uruguay, whether or not it's a watered down or an A+ Uruguay that we face, whether or not we beat them, he's gone, in my opinion. He needs to go. We need to take the next 6 months and figure out how to break this definition of insanity. Can't do it again. You've got Wilfried Nancy out there. You've got heck, I'd even go for another 3-4 months of BJ Callahan before he takes over Nashville to figure this out. I am not convinced that out of the whole search, Gregg Berhalter was the guy to lead us forward. And this all falls, too, on Matthew Crocker, whatever his name was, that was picked to lead this. And I'm tired of the apologists. And I think that dam is cracking. I think that we are starting to see some of these quote-unquote pundits and critics in the United States are starting to look at this and say, okay, well, we got nothing.
Starting to understand the game.
I hope so.
You need a change.
Negative tactics, negative viewpoint. It's tiresome.
And how is it possible when you see Canada picking a manager that is completely attainable with Jesse Marsh, and then you said, like you at the start of this video, Bielsa could have gone to the U.S. national team instead of Uruguay. It's madness. It's pure madness. So whoever's making these decisions, and there are better managers out there, not in top leagues, not like I'd say in Portugal, an average manager like Vasco Seabra of Estoril, like a manager that went now to Botafogo, Artur Jorge, they would be better than Gregg Berhalter, and they would be enticed to coach the U.S. when the Copa America is in home. No, Copa America is in home soil, and the World Cup is in 2 years. People would want the U.S. It's mad because it shows the U.S. men's national team is a job that is really, really tempting, enticing for the manager that wants to make a statement in a short period of time. So yes, the US job deserves more respect, and I think really there's a lot of managers that would make the difference with you guys. And yes, I'm very hopeful for the future though, Breton, because for the players you have, and the talent level under 26, let's say, list of players, you guys have a mad list, okay? So, and players that are still not playing, okay? And imagine a Kevin Sullivan in 5 years' time. That could be the best American player in the world now. And Pulisic, will Pulisic be the best American football player ever when he retires? That can be the case. That can be the case, especially with a World Cup in home soil, in which he can make the difference and make history. So that has to be with the right manager. Oh, yeah.
It does. It has to be with the right manager. I know that he likes Gregg Berhalter, Christian Pulisic. Heck, I know he's got a girlfriend now. He's got all the right things to play for. Obviously, great first season at AC Milan. But ultimately, what he's missing is a statement win. That is not against the same old tired 2-0, El Tree win in the CONCACAF Nations League, which nobody gives a crap about for the most part. Don't get me wrong. It feels great when it happens. Yeah. But if that's what we're resting our laurels on, if that's what we see as changing the perception of football, no, you're beating a team that's already down, right? You're beating a team that is falling off the ledge of relevancy at this moment. And they also, they don't have the player pool that we have, and they couldn't do it with Tata Martino. They couldn't do it with, they're not doing it, in my opinion, with Jimmy Lozano. And over here, it's simply put, we need new ideas, not negative ideas. Okay? And you can say something, but watch what they do, not what they say. And what Berhalter's doing right now ain't encouraging. It's not.
True.
And it hurts. It hurts to watch. And it's not going to be changed tomorrow. It's not. So this exhaustive search crap that brought Berhalter back just reeks of stupidity, and there's egg on their face. And even if they lose, or I'm sorry, even if they beat Uruguay, even if Uruguay lines up with Araujo at the back, with Darwin Núñez, with everybody, and Bielsa's pacing the sideline like it's the flipping final, and we beat him 3-0, Berhalter still needs to go.
Bold statement. Bold statement. I agree with it too. But let us know, people. Do you agree with what we said about the U.S. men's national team? And who would you replace Gregg Berhalter with? We would want to know your thoughts down below. And like this video for more content just like this.